Greetings. The What It Takes Radio Company. We are proud to present another edition of a program which we call Interesting Ideas. And today, Interesting Ideas is a special Friday flowing into the weekend. It is the Transformation Project. And the question, could it be time for a transformation? That's right, a transformation starting with you. Greetings, my friends. This is Stan Houston once again on Interesting Ideas for a Friday flowing into the weekend. And as we said just the past week, that on Friday, we are going to focus every Friday on a separate topic that is very much related, hopefully, to interesting ideas, but something that is vitally needed now. And we simply call it, as you see, the Transformation Project. And I thank my new background to a guy named Kevin Dooley, who is going to be joining us in the project. He is a master artist and writer and has some wonderful ideas that will help us if we truly want to be people who will be one of the transformed ones. You see, we can talk about transformation. We can speak, we can teach, and we can do a lot of things based on the theories and maybe even the theologies of transformation. We can quote all of these social science and behavioral management factors and ideas. But ultimately, transformation is something that is deeper than outside or perhaps organizational change. It's often something that happens to us personally first. And it is not just how we behave, it's how we think, how we act, how we relate. Transformation is very much first a personal project. And so we will be talking a lot about that. But at the same time, hopefully we are people who say not only do we want to be transformed, but we realize that what the world needs now are not a few tweaks, a few changes, a few, let's make it slightly different. We may actually have to have great changes, not only in how we do things, but how we form things and how we create things. Perhaps, as Kevin will teach us as he shows why we chose the Da Vinci piece as our motto, as our logo for the Transformation Project. So there we are. That's the introduction. And you're busy this weekend, but we wanted to introduce it and then perhaps give you one idea, just one thought that we will hopefully ask you to think about as we move into the Transformation Project arena. And perhaps way of living, way of teaching, and perhaps even more so, a way of doing business. That's the hope, that's the experiment, and it begins right now. First of all, a heads up to somebody you will meet and some of you will know. As I've said in my many years of teaching and coaching, about some 20 plus years ago, I ran into a former student of mine. We had been separated for many, many years. His name was Joe Pine. And it turns out that Joe had been one of my students where I taught history and philosophy and was a chess coach at Rosemont High School in Minnesota. Now, Joe was a far better chess player than was the coach, but basically I just let the boys and the girls do their work. They were all better than me, and I just kind of helped from time to time and did a little coaching, and it was my job to decide who was number one, who was number two, who was number three, who was number four, who was number five. And Joe was always a part of that decision making, and sometimes actually asking me, he said, well, let me play number three this time. I think I might have a better chance of winning that. He was that strategic even when he was 17. So, um, and it is Joe who, in his, you know, business changing project, along with his partner, Jim Gilmore, wrote the classic book, you know, The Experience Economy. They invented that term, the experience economy, work as theater, and every business a stage. Now, not only work as theater, work is theater, and every business is a stage. And the whole idea of talking customer service in terms of the customer experience goes back to Joe Pine and Jim. And that's truly a business and in many ways a life-changing book. And there are many fans and friends of Joe and Jim who may be also involved in the circle of friends that we correctly connect to. And in my own coaching, I've always said as a business coach, uh, it will not just be how we behave that'll make a difference. It is who and how we become, what we believe. And that I oftentimes would say to my clients, are you serious? And what that meant is, do you just want to have a few little adjustments so that you can be a little bit smarter and maybe make a little more money because you have you're a little bit cleverer in how the world works? Or do you really want to be serious about who you are, what you're called to do, and how you can make a significant difference in the world? So all of that has come together as those of us of a somewhat of a senior status in this business of performance coaching and an organizational development are seeking to perhaps leave our mark on a new project in kind of the encore of our careers and lives. So that's the framework, and I hope that you will be able to participate in some ways. And that you will not only learn from this, you will use these things in your own life and business and in your own coaching and in your own experience creation so that you can have more fun, do more good work, and perhaps make a little bit more money. Uh, Remember, no matter how noble the mission, without a margin, it doesn't matter. And we want to do things that matter. Okay, here we go. One of the things we have encountered right off the bat was the idea uh, about a theory of change. Um, all of us talk about change. Well, sometimes we talk about just managing the change. That means, well, whatever happens, how can we manage it? Then some of you will say, well, not only do I want to be a change manager, maybe I want to be a change maker. Make that happen. Okay, that leads us to this. It might even be a theological, it's certainly a theoretical and maybe psychological behavioral question is, how do people change? How can that happen? Um, you know, they can improve, but how do they change? So what I'm going to ask you to do as we start out today in this project is simply to ask yourself that question. Um, what causes me to change? Is it pain? Yeah, then I change. Is it suffering? Um, is it fascination? Is it imagination? Is it attraction? Is it just simply I was kind of, made for that? I don't want to live a status quo life. I want to be changing. I want to be moving. I want to be making a difference. I want to be different. I want to be different. Maybe I want to even be transformed. How do you believe that can happen? Not only for you, but for how you should do your work, knowing that that might be the best way to help people change. Now, what you will discover, there are a lot of different ways that we think we can change behavior, you know. Uh, we can punish bad behavior and change it into good behavior. We can reward good behavior, and hopefully that will lead to better behavior. What is your theory of change, both for you personally and for you? Because this is what you are. If you truly are involved in the transformation project, for you as a leader. And my God, something needs transforming in this culture, in our own country, in our world. We need not just leaders, we need transformation leaders. We need men and women who are willing to pay the price, make the difference, take the time to truly effect some transformations in what we believe, how we behave, what we do, and how we create a better world. We truly believe in transformation. Well, there we go. That's it for this day. And I will be introducing other things and introducing you to other people. But our hope is that interesting ideas on every Friday flowing into the weekend will be a time where we will think about seriously, uh, how do we transform? How can we help people and organizations enjoy the benefits of a beautiful, and we're going to use that word, beautiful transformation? All the best. Take care. I hope to hear from you. StanHouston@gmail.com. StanHouston@gmail.com. Till next time, all the best and blessings upon you in these challenging times. Take care. Bye for now.